All right, let's talk about something a little bit radical. Let's talk about building an internet that nobody can turn off. Not the government, not some giant corporation, nobody. An internet that actually belongs to us.
I mean, really, have you ever thought about it? You're in the middle of organizing something important, maybe a protest or maybe just a fantasy football league. And then, poof, the app goes dark, the service gets cut. You're just gone.
Yeah, fun fact, right? Turns out dictators and CEOs have something in common. They love a good off switch. It's kind of the go-to move when people start having conversations they don't like. It's a feature, not a bug, of the digital world we live in.
So, how do they do it? How can one person or one company just pull the plug? Well, there's a name for this secret vulnerability, and it's basically the internet's big red emergency stop button. It's called a centralized choke point. It's a fancy term for a simple and, honestly, kind of scary idea. It's the one server, the one company, the one cable at the bottom of the ocean that everything has to flow through. And whoever controls that choke point, well, they control everything. It is the Achilles heel of our entire digital life.
But here's the thing about humans, the beautiful thing. You try to shut us up and we get creative. This has been a cat and mouse game for a long, long time, and the workarounds people come up with are nothing short of brilliant.
And you can just see the escalation right here. In 2011, with Occupy Wall Street, they started small, they just banned megaphones. Simple enough. That same year in Egypt, the government just said, forget it, and shut down the entire internet for 5 days. By 2014, in Hong Kong, it wasn't just about shutting things down. It was about watching everything. Digital surveillance became the weapon. So no megaphones in New York? What do you do? Well, the protesters came up with something amazing, the human microphone. One person yells a sentence, and the people around them yell it, and then the next circle of people yells it. The message literally ripples through the crowd. No tech, no batteries, just people. Absolutely genius. And this is where the solutions get gloriously absurd. The government shuts down the internet? No problem. Let's fire up the old dial-up modems. And fax machines. Yes, the fax machine made a heroic comeback. Megaphones banned? Human microphone. Worried about digital spies? People started using these newfangled Bluetooth apps to create their own secret networks on the fly. So, okay, we moved past fax machines, thank goodness. The tech got better, but this just created a whole new problem. Were these tools only for the super technical people? Was freedom of speech becoming like a nerds-only club? I mean, look at some of this early stuff. You practically needed a PhD in radio thingy just to turn it on. And imagine trying to get through airport security with a backpack full of weird antennas and circuit boards. You'd be having a very long, very awkward conversation. And for places under a blockade, like Gaza, you can't even get a new toaster in, let alone specialized communications gear. And this gets to the absolute heart of the matter, put perfectly by Calle, one of the folks behind Bitchat. Freedom of communication can't be a privilege. It can't be just for the experts or for people who can get their hands on weird, expensive gadgets. It has to be for everyone. So, how do you solve that problem if building new hardware is a dead end? What's the answer? Well, it turns out the revolution wasn't something we had to build. It was already sitting in our pockets. 7.3 billion. That's how many smartphones are out there. Think about that. That's a supercomputer in nearly every person's hand. It's a globally distributed network of devices that's pretty much impossible to confiscate. It's just been waiting for the right software. And that right there, that's the key. The solution isn't another clunky piece of hardware. It's software. And you know what's beautiful about software? It's borderless. You can't stop an app at a checkpoint. You can't put an embargo on a line of code. Which brings us to Bitchat. And the way it works is just like that human microphone we talked about, but digital. You type a message, and your phone sends it out via Bluetooth. The phones near you hear it, and they automatically pass it along to the phones near them. Your message just hops from phone to phone, spreading through the crowd. And this is why it's a game changer. No internet required. No central servers for anyone to attack or shut down. And this is huge. No registration, no email, no phone number, no account. You just use it. It's completely and totally permissionless communication. And look, this isn't just a cool theory. This is real. When Nepal banned social media, you see a spike in Bitchat downloads. When a hurricane was about to knock out the grid in Jamaica, another spike. Civil unrest in Madagascar, same thing. When the centralized systems fail, people are finding this tool all on their own.
Okay, so we're on a path to uncensorable speech. That's awesome. But what about the other thing they love to control? Our money. Because, surprise, surprise, it has the exact same centralized choke point problem. This is such a perfect example. During the Hong Kong protests, people went out of their way to use physical cash for subway tickets. Now, why would they do that? Because they knew that every tap of a digital payment card was a little breadcrumb, a data point tying their identity to a specific time and place. Cash is offline, cash is private, and sometimes that privacy is a lifesaver. So what if you could have the privacy of cash, but in a digital form? Well, that's the whole idea behind Cashew. It's a system for creating e-cash, basically little digital tokens backed by Bitcoin that you can zap from phone to phone with Bluetooth. No internet needed, totally private, and instant. It's digital cash for the real world.
So what we're really looking at here, it isn't just about a couple of neat apps. This is about rethinking and rebuilding our most basic digital systems from the ground up with a totally different set of rules. And this is why it all matters so much. This quote from the Cypherpunks Manifesto just nails it. We can't sit around and wait for governments or giant tech companies to just give us privacy out of the goodness of their hearts. That's not how it works. If we want it, we're going to have to build it ourselves. So that's really the big takeaway here. The internet we all grew up with, for all of its incredible power, was built on these systems of control, on these choke points. Tools like Bitchat and Cashew, they're a glimpse of something different. They're asking a very simple but very powerful question. The first internet was built on control. What if we build the next one on freedom?